Let's talk about how much you can make as a copywriter and how you can start today, right now. Let's go ahead and dive in. My name is Sean Walker. So, here's the two types of copywriters that we typically discuss. There's corporate copywriters, where you might work for a business or in-house company. They hire you and you're in their offices and you're just jamming out copy. Sometimes they're from home positions, but typically you're there working with the person or the business, and they pay you a salary or an hourly rate, or maybe they pay you based on per project, but ultimately they dictate what you make, what you earn. It's a corporate style copywriter. It's typically a copywriting job, like you have a 9-to-5 style job. And then there's freelance copywriters, which we've discussed in the past. And if you aren't sure what freelance copywriters, you can go check out my other videos that talk about freelance copywriters. But ultimately, a freelance copywriter is a contract writer. It works on some type of contract. The pay structures can vary from per job to, per month to commission based on percentage of sales or leads or whatever. But freelance, they dictate what they make and they bounce around from different clients to different clients. They typically don't always write for the same clients, but they can. I've had the same clients for, years on end, and then I've had other ones in between. But ultimately, freelance, I dictate when I work, where I work, and who I work for. So, the copywriting income. Now, I couldn't really determine which income is which for freelance or for corporate copywriters, but the average median salary for a copywriter is $47,838. That's the average across the board. Again, I couldn't really tell if it was, for freelancers and they were reporting that, or if it were for corporate copywriters and that's just in-house people, that are getting paid. From the people I know and from what I make in my business and from others in their copywriting businesses, that salary is going to be based on corporate copywriters. Now, again, I couldn't determine this one if it was freelance or corporate because it didn't really specify, but 80% of copywriters earn between 35 and 65K per year, and that came from salary.com and payskill.com. So you can go check all that stuff out if you want. The job, in a sense, if you're working as a corporate copywriter, might not be that great. It's just your typical 50, 60 grand a year job. It's great. Good, but not fantastic, right? Well, freelance copywriters, it's a little bit different. I shouldn't say a little, it's a lot different. Freelance copywriters can dictate their income. As a freelance copywriter, you can decide how much you charge, how much you make, when you work, everything. It's up to you. It's your business, and you're a freelancer. You can work on contracts. Many of my mentors that helped me get into the copywriting world make between $300,000 and $400,000 a year as a copywriter. Some of them, I've talked to, they've made in the millions of dollars from royalties and projects and things like that. And many of them make, $200,000 to $400,000, $300,000 right now just doing their thing. So it can be very lucrative if you set it up the right way. Some of the people I've worked with have charged anywhere from $25,000 to $60,000 just to start a project. So maybe they're writing some sort of direct mail package. It might be $50,000 to start. Dan Kennedy charged, the word is that he charged $60,000 to start a project. One of the guys who helped me get into some copywriting stuff, he charged $25,000 just to write the project, just to start the project. Plus there's some commissions and things like that. So over the past couple years, I've charged anywhere between $5,000 and $7,500 to start the project. Plus, I typically charge a percentage of sales. It takes me about 2 weeks to write a sales letter or whatever package that I'm writing. So $5,000 to $7,000 plus a percentage of sales. So let's just do some simple math so you can kind of see how this works. Now, my percentage of sales is typically 3%, and you could charge whatever you want. You could charge 5%, 10%, 2%, 3%, whatever. So I'll charge an upfront fee, plus I'll charge 3%, and there's a lot of different things that go into it. I'm just going to use these for basic numbers. Now, if the client that I'm writing for goes and runs my sales piece, and they sell $10,000 of their thing a year, so if it's $1,000 and they sell a month. So if it's a $1,000 product and they send out my thing and it sells 10 of them a month, they're making $10,000. Well, I get paid 3% of that. 3% of $10,000 is $300. So every time they send out that letter and it makes $10,000, I'm getting paid 3% of whatever the sales are. So $300. So let's just use it for monthly. Well, oftentimes I'll have more than one thing. I'll be writing for lots of clients and I'll write the thing and then they'll just keep mailing it. For example, I've had one client who's been selling using a direct mail piece and sending a direct mail piece that I wrote over a year ago. So for a year and a half now, they've just been sending it out. It's been making them money, and every month they send me a paycheck. I only wrote it one time. Now you could have 10 or 15 or 20 sales letters or sales pieces out there making sales at any given point. So we'll just say we have 10 going. Well, if I have 10 and each one is earning me 3% based on the 10 grand a month at 3%, $300, that's $3,000, right? So $3,000 from those 10 sales pieces that I send out every single month. So I'm making $3,000 a month and I wrote the sales letters one time. And that doesn't include the upfront fees I made. So I can typically write 2 sales promotions a month. That's what I like to write. Every 2 weeks, I'll write a sales promotion and give it to my clients and off they go. That's about average for me. So if I do that and I charge just $5,000 a month, plus I have the 3% out there from all the other ones, we're making about $13,000 per month. You times that by 12, you're looking at about $156,000 per year. So that's significantly better than just the 48 grand or the 50 grand or whatever. And again, you can charge whatever amount of money you want. It comes down to how well known are you, how good does your copy convert, how good of a copywriter are you, how do you position yourself in the market, are you an expert or are you just, this general style copywriter? I've actually been considering kicking my prices up to $10,000 to $12,000 to start, plus commissions. Now I could see you follow these same numbers, starting with 10 grand and 3%, you're looking at over $200,000 a year. So I'm not saying that you're going to make that. I'm just showing you some examples based on some basic numbers that copywriting is a high-skilled, high-paid income. And as a freelance copywriter, you can dictate whatever amount of money you want to make. So that's a pretty cool deal. Now, if you think copywriting might be a fit for you and you want to become a copywriter, I do have a free course for you. All right, I just want to give you something to help you launch your copywriting business. And the reason I want to give it to you is because you're not sure that maybe copywriting is right for you. You're like just kind of checking out copywriting. You're like, well, is it for me? Is it not for me? So I don't want you to spend a whole bunch of money, diving into the copywriting world and then finding out in a month that it's not for you at all. And you're like, oh, this is terrible. The worst thing that you could do is just spend a bunch of money on something that you hate, right? So I want to give you a free course, totally free. Just go over there and check it out. And if you decide is copywriting right for you, awesome. If not, that's no big deal. So the course is going to help you launch your copywriting business. It's going to give you the ins and outs of copy. It's talking about effective copywriting. It's going to talk about the processes. It's going to talk about clients, where to get clients, how much to charge clients, all that kind of stuff. It's all in there. And you can go over to copyskills.com/copy plan and you can get it totally free right now. Just go over there. It's going to be limited time. I probably will start charging for it again, but right now I just want to give it to you because I don't want you spending money and then deciding you don't like it in the future. So it's kind of like a test drive. So you can jump in the copywriting world, see if it's for you. If not, either way. So anyways, head over to copyskills.com/copy plan. Cut. So head over to copyskills.com/copy plan and grab your free Copywriter's Launch Plan course today. It's totally free. Head over there and I'll see you on the other side. So long.